by the contradictory policies by the Ministry of Education for the management of junior schools. The latest such policy, the circular on incorporation of junior school teachers in Kenya Primary School Sports Association, is a shortfall of 62 billion for the sector. Many budget lines that had been recommended for funding under the budget policy statement have been radically reduced or eliminated altogether. The estimates indicate zero funding for the management of national exams, quality assurance, and the modernization of the school information management system. The effect of these cuts is that the Ministry of Education Quality Assurance Department will not at all do anything to assure our quality, and that means that it is all dead. This is despite the department's centrality to the maintenance of standards of all levels of education. The removal of all funding for examination, invigilation, and management almost certainly means that parents will be required to meet the costs. The estimates indicate massive cuts for the school feeding program, capitation for primary and junior secondary schools, and the Teacher Service Commission. In the TAC budget, for example, the Treasury has slashed the entire budget for the confirmation of 20,000 intern or junior secondary school teachers into permanent and pensionable terms. The Commission has also not been provided any funding for the employment of another 20,000 teachers for the January 2026, as promised by the President during this year's Labor Day. The cuts represent the most ambitious rollback of social spending since independence. Prior cuts included the abolition of funding for EduAfia, medical insurance, university research, and loans programs. KUPPET therefore demands the reinstatement of education funding as contained in the budget policy statement, which in itself was grossly inadequate for the sector's needs. At the same time, KUPPET is alarmed by the contradictory policies by the Ministry of Education for the management of junior schools. The latest such policy, the circular on incorporation of junior school teachers in Kenya Primary School Sports Association leadership, that purports to mainstream junior school teachers within primary school system in terms of activities. This is unfortunate, since junior schools are autonomous institutions which should be delinked from primary schools. We demand the circular's immediate withdrawal and proper recognition of curricular activities in junior schools. Yes, so this is in summary what we have. Let me just maybe to give off-the-cuff remarks in relation to this. The policy that we are running with our partners is funding public education, and funding public education is not limited to funding activities like giving equipment to schools. It means that you give specific attention to all that pertains to education, which include, among other things, the employment of teachers, improvement of infrastructure, and improving the quality of assurance so that our education standards are kept. So when the budget cuts are realized in the manner in which we are now seeing it happens, it means that we are undermining education of this country. We are undermining the quality of education. We are also undermining the future of this nation, because it is through education that we manage the systems that will definitely improve the quality of our politics, the quality of our industry, the quality of our innovation and technological advancements. So this one must be addressed, and the cuts should not be allowed to pass through Parliament when finally appropriation is done. Thank you.
Question? Any question, please?
Another issue which we want to highlight in this defunding of schools, because Kenyans know the quality that they want their children, the quality of education they want their children to be exposed to. The government intention is therefore moving Kenyans to look for private education. And privatization of education goes against the grain of the right of citizens to quality and affordable education. When feeding program is not given attention, it means that children or learners who come from less privileged families will not go to school. And this one is very dangerous because we are creating an equal society altogether. So this must stop, and that is the reason for which we are so much alarmed that the government must ensure that this one is restored. We are calling upon Parliament not to accept these cuts in education, because if they do so, it means that every aspect of our quality, every aspect of enjoyment of right is going to be affected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kuna mtu ana swali?
We just talk about schools.
Capitation. And any other question so that we finalize? So capitation. There's no money in schools.
Any other?
I think there's no.
I think this is second term, and the capitation which we have been assured would arrive in the banks in the second week have not arrived in schools. The delay in capitation means that the delay of effecting service delivery. Service delivery is going to be compromised, because if the capitation was meant to pay for facilities like school pieces of chalk, for example, payment of repairs on the fence of the school, building of toilets, acquisition of desks and so on, it means that these ones will have to be delayed. The net effect of this is basically affecting the quality of our education, because the teachers are going to be compelled to call unnecessary meetings with the parents to fund this education. Parents are already burdened by very heavy taxation regime which we are all suffering from.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.